Jennifer, and you're watching the Corvette channel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott, and today I'm going to be showing you how to install these awesome LED grill lamps in a C8 Corvette. Now these happen to be from Extreme Online Store, and they have them in two variations. They've got them in the carbon fiber as well as the carbon flash. Now you may have seen pictures of my old 23 Corvette that had these lights in them, but they were carbon flash, and I ended up having to have them wrapped in carbon fiber to be able to make them look like the way I wanted it on the car. But as you can see, or you'll be able to see in the video, that these are the carbon fiber version, and they work from the 2020 all the way to current. Now they only work on the Stingray, okay? The Extreme has a set of lights that works for the wide body cars also, but this video is for the Stingray installation. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you step by step how to take everything apart and put it all back together, okay? So I want you to sit back and relax, and I'm going to show you how it's done. Alright guys, we're under the car now, and we're going to talk about some of the steps that we've got to do to be able to install these lights, okay? So what we're going to have to do is we've got to take our front splitter. So if you have a splitter on here, you're going to be taking your front splitter off, which is a combination of this one. We've got a combination of some 7mm and 15 Torx. But if you are dealing with a factory splitter, then you're going to be dealing with just 15 Torx. Then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking these little guys off, these trim plates right here. We're going to be taking all of this stuff off of the front, okay? And one is that we've got to be able to get our hands up inside here behind these vents and the screens to be able to get our 7mm screws out of here. Now, when we go to put it all back together, I'll be reassembling it a little bit different. The screws are pointed, the heads of the screws are pointed on the inside, facing out. So that these were all assembled from the factory before the bumper was put on, right? So you'll see that we'll go up there, we'll use an angle drill, and or not drill, but an adapter to be able to get the screws out, okay? Then when we go to put it back together, we'll change that around, and I'll show you how that's done here in a minute. But once we get this part all done, then we're going to be taking the wheel wells off. So you can see here I've already pulled the wheels off, but we've got to take the wheel liners out of the car. So, so there's a lot to this, but it's not hard. It's just a lot of parts and a lot of screws, okay? So I'm going to be having my friend Speedy. This happens to be his car. It's a 2025 Stingray Z51. It's a beautiful car, and you've seen a lot of different things that we've done to his car all along. So I'm going to have him be using a GoPro or iPhone to be able to get those angles so you can see what I'm doing inside the wheel well. What we've got to be able to do here, guys, is that we're doing all that to get this off, and then what we've got to do is we've got to take the screws up where the bumper meets the fender. We've got to take those free, and that's why we've got to get that wheel liner out. Once we do that, we can pull this bumper loose. We don't have to disassemble at the top, but we have to take that loose so we can get our wire that we're going to be running over here and into the back side of that wheel well. That way the connections are right there. We'll be able to put in the T's that you'll have the wiring harness in the box, and so you'll be able to see how that plugs in. And we're going to show you all of that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started right now. So we're going to start right here, guys. We're going to go ahead and use our 7mm. That's just because of the way this splitter was put together. Like I said, if you are dealing with a factory splitter, you would have 15 Torx right in here. So we're going to go ahead and pull these out. This splitter, I put this one on, and it was the thickness of the splitter required me to change the screws to a longer screw. Okay. also got, Speedy has a front bra, and so we're gonna have to take a few snaps out. So again, not normal if you don't have all this stuff on. We've just got a lot of different accessories on his car. So you're gonna probably, like I said, most likely you're just gonna have 15 Torques.
Hi, I'm Larry, owner of Tint World in Concord, California. Come on by for window tint, PPF, ceramic coating, paint correction, whatever your car needs. Mention the Corvette channel and we'll give you a discount. Hope to see you soon.
So what we've got here, guys, is that we've got snaps for his bra, and I know that doesn't sound right, but he's for the front of the car, and so we're going to take that loose. This one happens to be a 15 Torques, and that one's right in the very front. Okay, so we're going to switch back over to a 7, and we'll get all these off. Now I'm going to start. Well, we don't break this. I'm going to start over on this side right here. We'll be doing the same thing. Get these out, and then I can grab the splitter from the center. And if you have somebody that's there with you and can help you, then you can have them grab one side of it and you're taking it down. If you still have the factory Z51 splitter, you can do this all day long. It doesn't really matter because they just bend around anyway. Not a big deal. Okay. All right. So we're down to, I think, one more screw here. I think right here. Yeah, I think this is it right here. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we're gonna go and we're gonna scoot this off to the side. We've got some Torques right here. Got a couple Torques that are right here. We'll take those off there like that. Okay, and then you've got some Torques that are right here. We're gonna be taking all these panels off the bottom of the car. Now, guys, I can tell you that doing this on the Stingray is going to be a lot easier than doing it on the Z06s and the E-Rays. These body panels, there's just so many screws on a Sting or on the wide body cars. It's crazy. I mean, you just lose track on how many screws you've got. It's nuts. All right, so we've got this, I believe, is free. Okay, and you want to make sure that you hold on to it. Oh, I forgot. There's one screw that's buried right up here. And so just look up inside that hole and you'll see it. It's a 15 Torques. And if I can get my gun on it. Okay, so now you want to hold on to it, like I said, because this thing will come loose on you. And we've got one. Let's see, what do we got here? We've got one 7mm right here. So we'll do this one right here. And you saw how it tried to drop there on me, right? I've got my hand on it. Okay, and now we'll go ahead and we'll be able to pull this down. Okay, just like that. And be careful, you may have a bunch of dirt up in here. I mean, this car is just brand new almost, and it's still got dust and leaves, so just be aware of that. Go ahead and set that off to the side. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do this over on the other side too. Okay, so we'll take our 7mm out of here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get our Torques out. So I'm filming with two different cameras. I've got the one right behind me that's just filming overall, and then I've got Speedy filming this in here to be able to get you guys a more bird's eye view, and hopefully will always be the best one. But when I'm editing this, I will try to get you the very best shots just so you have them, okay? We've got one right up here. Don't forget that one. Okay. Now that we got that, we should be able to pull this one down. And we've got one more right here too. There we go. And got the sand and gravel there too. Okay, so now we're almost to a point where we're done underneath here. We're gonna go ahead and, these are our 7mm screws right here. We'll go ahead and take these out. There we go. And we can get this one up and out of the way also. Okay. All right, so now that we've got that done, right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go up to the wheel well and we're gonna get the screws out on the wheel well. So we'll be going over there right now. All right, guys, we're at the wheel well now. So what we've got to do here is we've got a combination of Torx as well as 7mm, okay? The 7mm screws are right underneath here. It holds the rock guard in, as well as a couple screws right here on the bottom, and you can see them right there. That's the one that holds the rock guard. You've got a couple screws here that are 7mm. We're gonna go ahead and pull those out, set them off to the side here. We're gonna have to take the rock guard off because there's a couple 15 Torx screws that are hiding behind the rock guard. Okay, so then at that point, we've got those screws out. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull the rock guard here. Okay, now what that did, that reveals two 15 Torx that are right here. Okay, right there. So we're gonna go ahead and pull those two screws out. And I'm gonna set those off to the side. Like just one big giant erector set. Now, what you're gonna see here is you've got some Torx, various Torx all over the place. One here, one up here, one over here. I believe there's one right down here. So we're just gonna start pulling those out.
No, you're good.
Okay. Like that. All right. And all these factory Torx screws and the 7mm, they're all the same, so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, you want to put them back in the same place, but they're all the same length, so it's not like you have to go, oh, which 15 is this? Okay, we're gonna pull one out of here. So we've got everything from this side. We're working across the top here now. Okay, there's one right here. Oh, Speedy, can you get that right there? Can you see that one? There's one right there, guys. Okay. So they're kind of spread out all over the place, guys. And there's one right here. All right. And there's one right down here below. So that air duct is going to stay in place. We're going to pull this whole thing out from underneath there. Like that, right? And then you would have, normally you would have just 3 regular Torx like we just pulled out. On this one, this is for his snaps for his bra. So we're gonna be pulling them out. These happen to be 15s also, but you can see that it's got the snap on them. So we have to make sure that we remember to put those back in. But otherwise you would have a total of 4 screws here, but we've replaced them with the snaps. Okay, so now we've got one more caveat. We've put a canard on this, right? So it's a little, you can see it's a little bit flexible. So we're gonna just kind of move it out of the way. But now we're gonna pull this, we're gonna pull our bumper out just a little bit. We're gonna get that free, okay? So Again, you may or may not have one of these, but if you do, it's not that hard of a deal to get it free. Okay, so now at this point, all of this should be free and clear. Okay, so you're gonna want to just pull this loose. Let's take your time. You're just kind of wiggling this out. Okay, just like this. You don't want to force it, right? It'll come out. Okay, you can see like that. Just make sure you got all your screws out, and then we're golden. So we can set that one right here off to the side. All right, guys. So now once we've got the wheel well liner out, what we're going to be what we're hooking up to is we're going to be hooking up to this plug right here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we've actually got this is the harness that it comes with, right? So what we're doing is we're going to unplug this. Now, Speedy, can you see that really well? Can you show that to them? You can see that it's just a male and female. It's just going to go in line of this, and then it's also going to give us a plug that we can tie our light into. Okay. So what we do here is there's a little red safety tab. And on this one, it just has the clip. But on the factory side of the clip, there's a red tab. You're gonna pull it backwards. And then you're gonna pinch the plug and it should come loose, hopefully. If you get the plug all the way, yep, there we go. Like that. Okay, so now this is what I was talking about. Here's that red safety tab right there. And so you would have pushed it out like that, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so now you're just going to be taking this, and you're going to be plugging this into here like so. Like that. Press the safety tab in, and you're going to tuck this little guy up in there. Okay, up in here above this brace, okay? And then you're gonna be plugging it back in to the headlight. And you heard it snap, okay? Now, here in a few minutes, we'll be going and we'll be taking everything in front off, and then we'll be bringing our wires through inside here. And hopefully, Speedy, can you see that? Can they see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna be taking these screws loose to be able to pull this bumper out a little bit to be able to gain a little more space right here. So you guys can use a socket. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna use I'm using my screwdriver and then a 90-degree turn on this so I can get up in here on these screws. Okay, so I'm gonna take that free like that. Now these screws you don't want to get mixed up with the other ones because these are a little bit different. The thread is the same, but the head is a little bit different. They're still 7mm, but they are just a little bit different. Okay, and I'm trying to keep them from falling. And this one here is always a nightmare. You're not going to be able to get in there like that. So you're going to use a 7mm wrench or a speed socket. Okay, see if I can get that to go in there. Okay. This one you don't have to pull out all the way. You just want to loosen it up because this will allow this bumper to pop out. There we go, like that, okay? So now what that does is that gives us enough room here. When we go to push the wire through from the light, we'll be able to pull it around. We'll be able to plug it into here. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that on the other side, and then we'll start disassembling the front of the car. got our bumper free, I can go ahead and I can plug the other harness in. We'll take our plug, move our red safety tab back, press in on the clip, and you can see it pulls out. We go ahead and we plug this little guy in, press the safety tab. We're gonna push this back up inside here. Okay, push that up in there like that. And we'll put this little guy back in place, and you'll just wait for it to click. Okay, just like that. Tuck that up there like so. Now we're ready to go up to the front, and we can start taking the grill pieces off. All right, guys, what we've got now is we've got our 3 screws. We've got one right here, one right here, and one right here. They're 7mm screws. And this is why we needed to be able to take, part of the reason we needed to take the bottom off, okay, is we're gonna reach up in through the bottom. Now, guys, you notice that there's screens on the inside. This is how you, if you haven't already put screens on or watched my video, this is how you would put your screens on a Stingray. But you don't get to do that on the E-Ray or the Z06. You've got to take the bumper completely off on the wide body car. You can't get up into this access point. But what we've got here, as you can see, I've got a 7mm socket. I'm also going to be utilizing a different 7mm for a different size because of the depth here. We're going to be coming up from behind here. If you're not using a power screw driver, then these are going to be kind of a pain in the butt for you, okay? Because these are literally, the screws have been put in backwards. So, like I said, the bumper was put on, these grills, they were put on from the factory before the bumper went on the car. So when we put this all back together, we'll be doing it differently. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get my screw gun up here and get these 7mm screws out of here. Okay, so this is where you're gonna have to have some patience. Okay, and once you get it up in there, you'll be able to get those screws out. And it's just this is kind of the pain in the butt part of it. But you're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, so we got those 3 screws loose now. Okay. So now we'll get our tool out of the way. Now, this is free. The only thing we've got is that I'm gonna have to deal with this canard. We'll have to push it down a little bit. But we're gonna pull this out. Okay, so this is gonna snap free of the bumper. Okay, there's a little hole right here that this little guy, that's a guide hole, so it kind of holds it. We're also going to be doing this. We're going to pull this out. Just take your time, be careful, but you're going to pull it kind of out, and you're going to pull this down and out of the way. Okay, so it'll come out of there. You can see how the gravel and everything just kind of constantly gets in everything. So there's that. But now we've got this one side done. Okay, so now what we can do is we can go ahead and go to the other side. So, all right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do the other side. So now we can go ahead and we can pull our part out of the bumper, like so. We're gonna do the same thing here. Okay, just like that. We're gonna pull this canard down just a little bit here. Okay, so you can see here, guys, what we've got is we've got the replacement that's got the light bar in it, and it's got all the tabs that will lock it into the bumper, as well as 3 10mm nuts, right? They're the bolts that we're going to put the nuts on. So we're going to be tightening those down through this here. Okay, so that's why we're not going to be worried about the screws that we took out, because we're going to be replacing them with these 10mm. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to set one of these in place. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to get this lined up. And now if you didn't have this canard in the way, it would be a little bit easier, right? But we're just gotta be a little more careful, okay, to get this in there. There we go. And then that's gonna snap there in place. Okay, just like that. Then what we're gonna do is we'll get these lined up to go through the holes. So we got one to start. Let's see if I can get my flashlight to go in there. Yep, okay, we're really, really close, guys. There we go. And then we've got our last one, which is right there, and the holes, the threads are just catching it. There we go. And then you want to make sure that your little tab goes back into your bumper. So you can see how that fits. It looks really, really good, right? I mean, this is lined up really well. It's not going anywhere. Now, you can see this wire right here. We're gonna tuck this wire back inside here, okay? And this is where you're gonna be able to pull this through, pull that through. We're gonna tuck it around here like so, okay? And then I'm gonna reach up from the back side here. We're gonna pull this bumper a little bit free. That's gonna allow me to reach up there and grab this wire. You can see my hand my fingers grabbing that, okay? We'll be able to tuck that right there like so. You see how that went through? Now we'll go ahead and we'll do that on the other side, and then we'll go ahead and we'll connect everything up inside, okay? Driver's side now, and we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna tuck this wire through here, okay? We'll get it kinda up and over, and you should be able to actually, if you let this hang and hold on to your screen, you should be able to get this to go in here by pulling the bumper out just a little bit and reaching around, and you should be able to pull the wire through, okay? There's a little rubber gasket that's around the radiator. You'll have to move it out of the way, but it's flexible and it won't hurt. So you can pull that through just like so. All right, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put the guide pins in, okay, into the grill. Okay, you want to make sure that everything lines up because everything's going to go in there good. And then we're going to just snap it in place, just like that. Then at that point, you're going to squeeze that together, and you can see right here that those holes, that the bolt holes went right through. You can see right there. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and we're going to pull that through just like so. Make sure that that's in all the way. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and we can take our 10 millimeter nuts here that we've got, and we're going to put those up here on these three nuts, or on these three studs that are holding that in. Okay, we're getting snug now. All right, that one's done. Now we'll go ahead and we'll go to the other side. We'll take our nuts over there and get the other side done. All right, and we're done with that. So now we just got to hook up the wires. All right, guys, now we're going to do the wiring. So we've just got to connect this, but what we're going to do is we're going to tuck this wire, going to tuck it up here like so. Get it up here where it's not just hanging. So you're gonna see there's some a radiator hose in here, and there's just enough room to get your plug up in here like this. Okay, just like that. All right, and then you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna snap this together. Like that. if I can get the right angle on it here. Okay, just like that. They are tight. Then you're just going to tuck that up in there like so. Okay, that one is ready to go. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead, we can put this back together. Okay, we can take our screws that we had originally. We'll put those little guys here inside the fender here. This one here like that too. Okay. Then we'll get our angle tool. All right, and then we'll get this, we'll tighten that up. Okay, and then you want to make sure your fender is right where it's supposed to be, and then you're just going to snug these up. Just like that. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to tighten up this one right here, and I'm using a little flashlight up here so I can see because it's really tight, nice and dark. So, but you'll be able to see it. And I'm just snugging this one nut back up here. Okay. And if you've got like a zero clearance ratchet, you'll be able to use that in there also, but there's not much that you're having to tighten up or loosen up, so that's just about done right there. Okay. And now we'll go do the other side over here, and on the other side, put it back together like this, and then we're going to test it first before we put our liner back in. Okay. All right, guys. So we're on this side now, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to tuck this wire up in here also. I'll get my wrench out of the way, but we're going to go ahead and tuck this wire up here, get it up out of the way. And it'll fit. It's just kind of tight quartered, but you'll be able to get it in there. There we go. Just like that. Okay. Then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna plug it in. It's only keyed, it's keyed one way, so there's no way you can plug it in the other way. And these are waterproof, and they go together pretty easy. There you go. You saw on the other side it was a little bit harder. There's that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we go ahead and put this back together. Make sure your fender and your bumper line up, so snug it up, just like so. And then this one here, you can go ahead and just tighten up, like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and we'll use our wrench here again to tighten this up. This one probably wasn't very tight anyway, or very loose anyway, so this one is going to go fairly quick to tighten up. There we go. Just about right there. Maybe one more turn. All right, there we go. All right, so now we're going to test it. All right, guys, we're gonna test it out. Let's see what happens. And there you go. Looks pretty good. All right, guys, we've got the lights done. They're working. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put our liner back in. So again, you're just taking it all. You want to make sure that the duct, you can see right here, the cooling duct, if you get that lined up first, then you're going to be able to get that, you'll get it in, and this liner will fit in there a lot easier, okay? And then just put this up here like so, and then this will go inside the wheel liner, or inside your fender, okay? You just gotta kind of have to work it in, okay? Just like that, bring it all the way around. Then I'm going to move my little canard out of the way here so it will go in. Okay, just like that. Okay, now she's in place. So now I can go ahead and I can start putting all the screws back in. All right, guys, once we got the liner in, right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start putting the screws in here. So we're just going to... You'll be able to see the holes here. We'll get them lined up. There we go. There's one. And we'll go ahead and we'll get another one up in here. There we go. Those are going to be our snaps, so we're going to do those in a minute. We'll go ahead and put the two over here. They're going to go behind the rock guard. Okay. 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 Another one right there. A couple more right here above and below the vent. The air duct, I should say. There we go. And one right here. Get that one to start. All right. Now we've got our last four that were snaps, guys. Remember, now these were originally, most likely on your car, these will be Torx. Okay. Do this one right here. Okey-dokey. Okay, and the last one, and we're going to get this one lined up just right for the canard. We'll get that one started. Get that one in there like that. There we go. Okay, now we're done over on this side. Now the only thing we have to do, I guess we're not really done yet. We got to do our rock guard here. And so we're going to go ahead. You want to make sure that the two ears, these two ears here, are locked in place here, right, into the fender. Just like that. Okay, and then you're going to line up, make sure that your tabs are lined up to lock your rock guard in. Like that. And then you're going to finish off with the bottom. You're going to be putting your 3 7mm screws here to the bottom. Okay. And one more right there. There we go. There we go. So that's this side's done. Okay, so we're gonna go over to the other side and we'll get it done. All right, we're gonna put this side together. Okie dokie. Get these in here. Remember what I said about getting the ductwork in there? Once you get that in there, then it'll pretty much dial itself in. There we go. It's going up in there where it belongs. Okay, there's that. And just run your finger all along on this edge. Right, bring that in. And then again, move the canard out of the way here a little bit. Be careful of that. Okay. All right, so now they're in. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put some screws in here. Let me get my tools together and we'll start putting some screws in here. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what order you put them in, just make sure that you get them all lined up. Just like that. There's one underneath here too. Go. And then we've got a few more screws here. Sorry, Speedy, it was in your way. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll get this one done. There we go. And again, these are all just 15 torques, guys. This video, I have definitely had the drops. Okay. 2 over here. Okay, we'll get that one in there. All right, so now we're ready to do the rock guard. We'll put our rock guard back in. Again, remember the tabs, guys. So I'm going to switch spots with Speedy so you can get a better film view. Remember the tabs, make sure you put those in. Make sure that your little tabs here, make sure that these all line up. These old guys, they all line up in the slots here where they're supposed to go. You put that in there like so. Make sure they line up, just like that. Bang them into place. Now we're down to our last 3 7mm screws, which they go right here. 1 for the rock guard, and 2 for the liner trim. Go. All right, so now the wheel wells are all put back together. So now all we've got to do now, we've got to climb back underneath the car. We got to put our trim on the bottom and put our splitter back on. Then we can put our wheels back on, okay? All right, guys, we're under the car, and what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and put the center piece in. Now, you remember, this particular one has a different spoiler on it, different splitter, I should say. So it used some 7mm screws. So I'm just going to put one in here, a couple of them in here, so I can use them as a placeholder. Up here in the front, just to make sure that this is lined up. You guys would normally just be able to start put this up in here and doing your thing with your 15 torques. I've just got a lot of different screws going on here, So we're going to take this off. Now that we've got that kind of started, we can go ahead and we can go ahead and get our other trim pieces back up in here. Okay, so we're going to tuck those in, and we can go ahead and get those up in there like so, like that. Okay, get that up in there like this. Okay. Get that up there like that. There we go. All right, and then we can go ahead and put another 7mm right here, just to get it started. Okay, like that. Then we can go ahead and we can do the other side. We'll get these dialed in here. Okay, just like that. There we go. Get that up in there like so. And then we'll do another 7mm screw. This will get them started. Okay. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and we can go ahead and start our splitter. We'll get the splitter up in here, and then we'll just go ahead and start putting all of our screws in. Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get this one started. Like that. All right. This thing is so randomized. So I got that, that. All right, we're gonna do the last screw. All right, now we've got the whole bottom end put back together, the splitter's back on. Now all we gotta do is just put the tires back on. So guys, hopefully you found this video helpful and informative, and if you did, you'll know exactly where to get your LED grill lights for your Stingray. Go to extremeonlinestore.com, or you can reach out to me, and I'm going to put all of that information right up here on the screen. If you decide that you want to go through me, I can save you 5%, so that helps a little bit. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys all for watching. Those of you that have been subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Those of you that have maybe watching the channel for the first time, or you've been watching it a bunch of times and you just haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, and it will help the channel immensely by you subscribing. It just helps the analytics of the channel. It also helps me with sponsors that want to go ahead and do stuff with our channel. They see more subscribers that are more willing to do stuff for us. So I would really appreciate that. Guys, I want to thank you again. We're getting close to the end of the year. We're still going strong. But like I said, if you guys can subscribe, go ahead and do that. I would appreciate it. And like I said, if you need a set of these lights or any other of those things that you see me do on the channel, please reach out to me and I'll be able to help you, okay? So guys, thanks again, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you for watching the Corvette channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe.